Oh, excuse me. Better drink this energy drink.
It's
Wumpa fruit. It's the Crash Bandicoot G Fuel.
Jeez Louise.
Sorry, that just got us copyright stricken. Audio strike. Sorry.
I've had so many at this point. Well, no, that's only clips on TikTok. I think. Was there another one?
Is it bad that I actually have to drink this no matter how bad it tastes? I don't want to keep the can.
No, not at all.
All right, cool.
I have yeah, but I used to drink Coors Light. You know, remember the mini cans? I still have that, I think.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm one of those few. For those wondering, back in my first apartment ever, we used to have the porch nights.
Oh,
we
God.
had the line of different alcohol. that was there.
There's no way you're still getting alcohol. And what does this dumbass do? Spit like the full fucking 20 ounce somehow, some way. The full like 16 ounces of beer in my mouth out. Fucking told you, assholes. I did too get some beer.
Oh, you?
Yeah, the keg stand.
It was all foam.
It was not. You guys are fucking stupid. Apparently you don't know how to do keg stands.
It's foam.
It was not. I literally spit out 90% of a full fucking beer just to prove my point.
See, you didn't get anything.
Yeah,
man.
I didn't get anything. You're right. Yeah.
See?
Think about it
all
now.
these years.
All these years, that's all it took me to admit.
Took a Crash Bandicoot G Fuel, whatever it is. I think I tripped over my own words. Had a Bidenism right there.
2 words.
That's actually what I titled this whole episode.
Made in America.
DC.
2 words for you.
2 words. Made in America. I guess Kareem Jean-Pierre tried to dial it back and say maiden, like a maiden. like no, you can't cover that one up. It wasn't maiden. Don't even bother. Stop it.
Nice try, loser.
Made in America. 2 words. Made in America. Maybe he wasn't counting the word in. You know, sometimes when you have acronyms, you get rid of those words. So
Yeah.
Made America. Maybe that's what he was thinking. Maybe he wasn't thinking at all.
Like NATO, North American Treaty Organization. There's a silent "we're going to rape you in the mouth" in between the and organization.
Yeah.
The rape you in the mouth organization.
Yeah.
But it doesn't fit the acronym.
NAMBLA. Is that like the same thing? Fucking immature little assholes. What?
Yeah, sure. NATO and NAMBLA have the same purpose.
What if it's the same group? It's just one of those things where it's like, let me get my supervisor.
No, hold on. All right, I want to speak to your manager. All right. Hi, welcome to NAMBLA. I was just at NATO. Welcome to NAMBLA. What can I do for you?
Well, let me tell you something about this NATO guy.
Hold on. Are you talking about Charlie? Let me go get him. Did the manager come or not?
And see, this is how the rest of the world reacts to that. It's like, yeah, I did see the manager. Can you get that other guy, though? I got to talk to him.
Oh, shit. That's funny.
That's not funny. That's sad. But it is kind of funny. It is kind of funny.
I'm laughing on the inside.
Anyway, I brought up before we went on air that the whole PayPal thing. PayPal saying that they would deduct up to $2,500 from anyone's PayPal account, meaning they would directly take it out of your account, whatever account it's linked to.
Put their hands right in your wallet.
Yeah.
The meat wallet.
For misinformation, which is that's subjective.
Wait, what?
At this point, for misinformation.
Okay.
If you put something for like that they consider misinformation, or whoever considers misinformation, they apparently can go into your account and
it's eBay.
Well, it's PayPal.
PayPal.
Which is connected to eBay.
It's PayPal.
Yeah. Yeah, it should have nothing to do with it. I know.
I was going to say, what misinformation do they have to deal with? Oh, I have a red BMX for sale. It's got a blue stripe on it.
That's more maroon. Misinformation, $2,500. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, subjective. But anyway, so PayPal went back on that. And they said, well, that was a mistake, of course.
Yeah, not made in America. Made in America.
Yeah, made in America. That's misinformation. Fucking Biden just got $2,500 jacked from his account. Oh, no. Pierre backtracked it, so went back on it. So it's not misinformation now. It is 2 words. That's the whole reason she went back and said, "Oh, it's made in America, not made in America," because Biden didn't want his $2,500 getting jacked.
What does made in America have to do with anything?
And what is made in America?
You mean the made in America?
Maybe Lady Liberty. She's a maiden? She's a whore.
I've been up in that skirt before.
You know she's naked under that toga. She's French. You know that.
I've been inside of her.
It's Ghostbusters 2. Have you? Oh, yeah. How far up did you go? Did you go all the way? Did you go to
Let's just say I saw where the sparks fly, okay?
Did you go to the head? Or did you go to the hand?
I went all the way to the base.
You can't go to the hand anymore, so...
No.
No, you couldn't. When I was a kid and went down there, you couldn't go to the hand. So that was shortly after Ghostbusters 2. Actually, it might have been before Ghostbusters 2.
No, it was very...
Because that was 89, and they were in the hand, but that doesn't mean that everyone...
There was a grace, like... I want to say it was like 92.
I went there in 94, I think. It was like 94-ish, somewhere around there. It was right before the World Trade Center bombing, the first one. But yeah, then you could. When I went down there, you couldn't go to the torch. You got it. 1970. What?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're both very wrong.
Oh, well, that's nothing new.
Visitors have not been allowed inside the torch for over a century after a massive explosion. Ever wonder why visitors aren't allowed inside the Statue of Liberty's torch? The event that sparked the ban occurred 102 years ago, Monday on July 30th, 1916.
Yeah, I was right.
We were in there as kids.
Yeah, Ghostbusters were in there, though.
See? You want to get away with things? You want to get preferential treatment? Become a celebrity. You can go inside places of women that most men aren't even allowed.
That's right, for a century. I don't know most men would want to be...
I want you all up inside me, boys.
What
the fuck?
I don't know most men would want to be in something that it's been a century since.
Over 102 years old? Well, you never know.
It's been a century. Yeah, that's true.
That could be one pristine meat pocket.
We do have animal people now.
Sausage sleeve. Lizard sleeve.
We got animal people. We got man, women, and women, mans.
Wiener sleeping bag.
If any other.
No.
Speaking of trans.
Exploded quesadilla.
I'm not going to spit out my drink this week.
Blue waffle.
Jeez Louise.
Speaking of exploded looking situations.
Yeah.
There's a good way to segue into it.
There was a trans. Actually, trans really has nothing to do with it, but it's the first trans recruit, I guess, into the army.
Oh, you mean the leaked?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a recruit. That person was actually...
It was the first person recruited into the army whom was a trans.
Yes.
To my knowledge, anyway.
Yes.
It says U.S.
Outspoken.
says Army major and wife tried to leak military health data to Russia.
Oh, no, like, they didn't try. Like, they didn't realize they were giving it to an undercover FBI agent, but they did. They gave information.
This is from Reuters. So September 29th, a U.S. Army major, and his anesthesiologist wife have been criminally charged for allegedly plotting to leak highly sensitive healthcare data about military patients to Russia, the Justice Department revealed on Thursday. This would be this past Thursday.
It was special force members that they were leaking medical information about.
This is Jamie Lee Henry, the major who was also a doctor at Fort Bragg in North Carolina, and his wife, Dr. Ann Gabrielina, were charged. Were charged in an unsealed indictment in federal court in Maryland with conspiracy and wrongful disclosure of individually identifiable health information about patients at the Army base. I think it's funny. I was watching, what was it? I don't know if it's Tucker Carlson but they were talking, it's like, this is all we've heard about over the last 6 years now, really, about Russia collusion. Russia collusion. Russia collusion.
Trump.
Yeah, Russia collusion.
Russia collusion.
And then, here it is, it's true. But wait a minute. Didn't have anything to do with Trump.
Well, no, they dragged everybody they possibly could through the mud to even, they basically did the old pasta trick. They boiled the pot of spaghetti and threw it against the wall hoping something would stick. And none of it did. For fucking the entire presidency of Trump.
Unfortunately for them, the wall was actually a hologram.
And what happens? Democrats in the office.
I think the reason why they brought up it was a trans is because primarily the trans are part of the woke culture, which is part of the extreme left, which is part of what the Democrats are pandering to. So that's why it was brought up by the first trans in the army, or evidently the first trans in the army was the one that was leaking this. So again, going back to Trump, trans. Kind of like the whole Louis Black when 2004 after 9/11, Iran, Iraq.
Well, speaking of pandering for votes, you hear about Biden's pardon?
Well, yeah, I sent you that, the thing I sent you is partially true. The pardon was for what, simple possession?
Simple possession of marijuana.
Yeah, so there's simple possession of marijuana, which isn't technically a federal offense.
There's none.
Technically. What happens in a lot of these court cases is when you get something, you don't get that kind of federal prison for simple possession, but there are people in federal prison for simple possession as part of a plea bargain. So when he's releasing these people on simple possession, basically who he's releasing are the people that Kamala Harris put in prison while she was in California. So Kamala's sitting there like, my labor.
Yeah.
But strictly for simple possession, the video I sent you in that regards is true too. There is nobody in federal prison for simple possession because that doesn't fucking happen.
Yep.
The video I sent you clearly stated that that's a county or local and state
offense.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with federal.
So what did I say? What have I said before?
I'm letting everybody go.
How many fucking podcasts have I said it? They are pandering to the vote.
Mm-hmm.
They are trying to do blanket statements to fucking get anybody and everybody they can to vote for them.
Because they know most people aren't going to know that. So when they say, oh, I'm letting all these, and of course it's going to be more of the left, it's like, oh yeah, drugs should be legal, which I'm an advocate. Marijuana or ganja is addictive. It is. I mean, there's
any
plenty,
chemical for that matter can be addictive.
But the fact that alcohol is legal and cannabis is not blows my fucking mind.
Well,
I mean, clearly it's because money. Clearly.
Here's the thing, though. Here's what's going to make you laugh. I've looked into it before, and I'll look into it again. But I'm pretty sure, on a federal level, alcohol isn't legal.
You know, it's
only on a state level.
They probably still have prohibition.
Which is why...
They have weird fucking laws that are still...
Which is why you can have dry counties. You can have counties that only serve alcohol between certain times. Every place makes their own different laws, their own rules. On a federally legal basis, you can't do that.
I think I think what would answer that is if you could cross state lines with alcohol.
No, technically you're not supposed to.
Without looking up, I couldn't say this way or that way, but yeah, the fact that just chemically addictive and I guess cases, fatal cases, and anything of that nature has to do with alcohol and cannabis. The comparison, I don't think there is no comparison. How many people have smoked, gotten super high, and then beat their wife?
Not too many.
I mean, I suppose maybe it happens. They get something laced with fentanyl, which that is one argument, though, that I'll have against my own point. Okay. So, sorry to cut you off. The primary federal law governing alcohol policy is the 21st Amendment, which repealed There was debris.
Sorry. I heard my sneezes sometimes smell like feet, too. I don't know why. I've been told. The primary federal law governing alcohol policy is the 21st Amendment, which repealed national prohibition. It also gives individual states control over whether to allow sale of alcohol in the state, whether to allow importing alcohol into the state. So it's weird. It's got some, like... It's legal on a federal level to a degree. Because these states can decide whether it's illegal or legal certain times, certain drinking ages, whether you can import it or export it.
Right.
Which that's a state, I don't know. That makes no fucking sense.
But again, I think if that has to go with crossing state, I mean, obviously if it's crossing state borders, then that becomes federal. But what was I saying now?
You've never seen somebody go home after smoking a fat sack of grass.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
With their wife. If anything,
there's a lot of people from the 70s, like stoners from the 70s, Cheech and Chong, like that era, that say today's crop is nothing like it used to be. Like what it was before was completely natural and really weak. Like now, they said because of just mixing different plants.
Strings, splices.
But also because now there's stuff that's mixed with fentanyl, which is horribly dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
So now what you get is not really cannabis. It's like this weird amalgamation of gamma rays and fucking...
It's the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
What's it? The Frankenstein, the Incredible Hulk, the bling, and the bling bling.
Just rolled up together. No one's ever done that before.
No one's ever been crazy enough to do that before.
This guy is.
Do it. I'll smoke a with you, bro. Let's send us both to the loony again. They're going to send us loony bin together.
Drive, monkey, drive!
Oh, my God. That's on Hulu. The rated version, of course. But
yeah.
Still enjoyable, if you ask me. I'm going to watch that tonight for like the 80th time.
So that's one of my all-time favorite stoner flicks. It really is.
You take the weed away from it, it's still a funny movie.
I mean, I consider it a stoner flick, though. I mean, it is. It's all the Cheech and Chong flicks, Half-Baked, Grandma's Boy. They're all stoner flicks. Doesn't make it less.
Let me ask you something.
Pineapple Express, which is the one stoner flick that, like, it's violent, but it's still a stoner flick. It's like, oh, boy.
Now, let me ask you something. Is the stoner flick because it incorporates weed into the
sense
plot?
Of humor? It's the joke. It's a joke line in it.
So people would sit there. Well, in the same sense, then some people could consider Tommy Boy, Dumb and Dumber. There's something about Mary where there's these dry sense jokes.
It is because there's weed in it, but it's the humor mixed with the weed. Like there's tons of movies with weed all through it, and it's not a stoner flick. And there's tons of movies that are hilarious and all their dumb jokes, but it's not a stoner flick because it doesn't have the weed.
Yeah.
So you have to have the combination,
Yeah,
and it's got to be a good.
There's a formula to.
Yeah, it's got. The formula is really easy. Dumb jokes, marijuana, but it's got to be a classic too. Yeah. And Grandma's Boy was one of the last ones that really held up. Like that came out, I was like, oh, that's an instant classic. Seriously, it's one of those ones where if you were part of that community at one point or another, you watch it, you'd be like, classic. As soon as you saw it.
And it's not so much because it's great acting, it's because at some point, whether you smoked weed once or 1,000 times, at some point in the entirety of your weed career, I can relate.
Absolutely.
It's just one stupid something. The one gesture.
It's a gesture. There might be like a character, a friend character, like, yeah, we've had one of those. For instance, Saul from Pineapple Express, the dealer.
Yeah.
I know exactly who that was. Long hair, always greasy.
Oh.
The pajama pants all the time was the dealer. I know exactly who it was. But it's either the character or the situation or something like that. Or
for me, sad but true, out of that movie, it was the guy. It was Craig Robertson. Craig Robertson. He's the one making the cake for his cat.
No, that
Daniel
was
Craig.
No, that's
What's his name?
Unbelievable. He's in Eastbound and Down. He was one of the producers for Halloween Kills.
Hold on.
Danny McBride.
Danny McBride.
Yeah.
Yes, Danny McBride. Danny McBride. He was the one.
Dude, what is that? Is that herpes? It's herpes. It's like, I'm a scumbag. It's like, dude, that shit's for life, bro.
No,
So where'd you get it?
It's
because you ate the Skittles out of that hooker's ass or whatever the hell it was. Oh, the stripper's ass.
Stripper's ass.
You ate Skittles out of her butthole.
No, for me, it was... I'm sitting there watching that movie, and he's sitting there, it's a cake from my cat. It's his birthday. I'm like, I know somebody who's done that. Literally.
Oh, it's his birthday? Yeah, he died 3 months ago. Oh, well, I'm sure he's in heaven. Yeah, maybe. He might be in hell. He was a little fucker.
Doesn't he still, if I remember correctly in the movie, don't they like gesture to the litter box?
Yeah, and then during the fight, he falls into the litter box, he spits it out, and there's still shit in it.
Oh, that was good. That was a good movie.
Dude, yeah, we're cool. I'll stall them. You just go out the back, and they come in the front. Saul, we've been best friends a long time. Dale, I don't really know you, but you seem cool.
Yeah.
As soon as they leave, the other two come in. It's like, it's Dale and Saul. They went out the back. If you hurry, you can catch them. Go, go, go.
Oh. Oh, shit. I haven't watched that movie in a long time.
Yeah, that's one that's, like I said, that's kind of like on the threshold. It's a stoner flick, but it's like right like in that area where it's like, well, it could be classic, could not be. It's like the intro to it was classic though.
Yeah, it was. What was it?
When you think of your superiors, what emotions do you feel? This is the bee's knees, item 9.
Item 9.
We should be out screaming to shouting the top of our lungs. Item 9.
Illegal.
What he says? Well, my opinion or whatever. Your dick, my mouth. Fuck you.
I forgot what his name was too.
Whoa, are you?
I forgot what his name too, but he's a good actor too.
He was also the police officer in Superbad. He was one of the officers, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was also one of the federal agents in Paul.
He's fucking tall as shit.
Yeah. He was also... He has a show where he plays like an assassin.
Really?
It's actually good because he makes his face... Like, the one clip I remember seeing, I never actually watched the show, but it looks good. He makes that face like in... and fuck you. He makes that face because somebody's like chasing after him and they shoot him. He makes that very similar face, gets out, fucking snipes them both with a pistol, goes over, climbs up, shoots them again. It's just, I don't know. I'll have to find out. It was good. It looks good. Looks entertaining, to say the least.
So, anyway, there's no way to segue. So, it's a super hard right segue from that. The K-329 Belgorod sub went missing from a Russian port in Antarctica. What's the significance of that?
Dude, where's my car?
Well,
where's your car, dude?
That's the most expensive. So it's the largest sub, I guess, in the world. It holds, I think, up to 6 Poseidon missiles, which are nuclear tsunami creators. Basically, their whole thing is they'll fire it at a shoreline, like say New York City or Miami, something that's close to the shore, obviously, and it can cause up to 1,600-foot waves or tsunamis, nuclear charged, which would make
1,600 foot.
1,600 foot, which would make the area unlivable for decades, if not longer. It did, I guess, reappear, like somewhere else.
But now it's missing again.
And they're also, what on radar, I guess, was shown as a bunch of APCs and advanced armor vehicles in Russia on train going toward one of the borders. I think obviously probably Ukraine, because they lost one of the cities in Ukraine, which is a major setback for Russia. Makes Russia look bad.
Oh, jeez.
Although Ukraine is really, I mean, it's the United States quasi fighting. They're just sending them shit. It's like, here you go, fight them. It says again. This is from news18.com. The fears of a sudden nuclear war breaking out rose once again after a train belonging to Russia's nuclear arsenal was spotted moving toward the front lines of Ukraine. Moscow also deployed the world's biggest submarine, which is capable of carrying apocalypse drones, the New York Post said on Friday. Following Ukrainian takeover of the town of Lyman, which signals a defeat for the Russian forces, the latest move shows Russian President Vladimir Putin is keen on reclaiming lost ground. The city, which falls under Donetsk, falls under the Russian jurisdiction as per the referenda held last month. Daily Mail citing a video from pro-Russian Telegram channel Rybar said a freight train hauling upgraded armor, personnel carriers, APCs, and other sophisticated military equipment was seen moving through central Russia. Yeah, NATO also said that Russia's Belgorod nuclear submarine left from its Arctic Circle base, according to the report by Italian newspaper La Repubblica. Belgorod is the largest submarine in the world, measuring 600 feet in length. It can carry Poseidon nuclear torpedo drones, which are capable of triggering 1,600-foot nuclear tsunamis, which can flood coastal cities for hundreds of miles away and render them unlivable for decades. So yeah, that disappeared from its port, which of course is going to get NATO and everybody else be like, going all the way back to the beginning, evidently Putin is health-wise isn't doing well, so that would make him kind of a loose cannon even more. What do you got?
What the fuck? A Poseidon nuclear drone.
Mm-hmm.
It can hold 6 of these fuckers?
Oh, it has multiple. Oh, exciting.
No, that's what you said, right?
Yeah. I think it has 6 of them, is what I read.
The one fucking torpedo, the one nuclear missile that they compare it to is like the size of a fucking camper.
How big is the payload? Is like the SAR bomb? Or that's not even the biggest, I don't think, anymore.
Hold on.
When they detonated the SAR bomb, I think that was in the 80s. That made like the little boy and fat man.
Here you go.
And
so check this out. This picture right here. Next to the tail of the big one on the top is a human.
Yeah.
It can carry 6 of those fuckers. That's like 2 buses.
Yeah.
Back to back.
That's why the sub is 600 feet long. about a 60-ish story building.
It's probably about a 70-foot fucking...
Yeah.
6 of these fuckers.
Yeah, because a bus is about 40 or 45 feet long? Something like that.
How long is a standard school bus?
Of course, they're not going to be end to end. They're probably going to be like all on
45
top.
feet.
Yeah.
So it's almost as long as 2 buses back to back.
Yeah.
Wow.
They would detonate that off the shoreline, creating this huge tsunami, and that would radiate everything in that area for decades.
Well,
so if they did that in New York City, that would pretty much wipe out Lower Manhattan.
That's a bad thing.
Okay,
right?
well,
that's a bad thing, right?
Well, for the people there,
yes,
I guess.
That's terrible. Jesus Christ. And they can carry 6 of those fucking things. What are we poking around with?
Well,
that's like when you newly become single and you think there's a chance you might get back with your ex, but then you find this really hot chick at the party and you're like, oh man, I put my finger in that. And people are like, no, dude, she's crazy. And then you wake up the next morning
most of them
with a
are,
knife to
though.
your throat and you have 2 fingers inside of her.
Hey, but it's a good story.
It does make it for a good story. It does make it for a good story.
Yeah,
I'd like to sit down and hear that one.
Added on to that, Ukraine prepping for a Russian nuclear strike.
Yep.
They're getting all their
Yeah, because Ukraine is calling for strikes on
sodium
Russia.
iodine pills. Well, yeah, that added on, but before that, Ukraine is distributing sodium iodine pills, which you take. So look up this just to fact check me, but sodium iodine, you take it before or right immediately after exposure to radiation, and I think it blocks or fills your maybe adrenal glands, some glands or something like that. So that it doesn't
Sodium
absorb.
iodine?
So it doesn't absorb radiation
Sodium
and cause
iodine, right?
I believe so. Yeah, and cause radiation sickness.
Radiation.
Because added on to that, I also have the U.S. government doing roughly the same. We'll tackle Ukraine first.
Well, apparently you can buy them on Amazon.
Yeah, you can. You can.
Potassium iodide.
Potassium iodine. All right.
It can be used to help block one type of radioactive material. Potassium iodide and radiation emergencies fact sheet. There's a lot. Iodine pills, radiation, potassium iodate tablets. $25 on Camp and Survival.
But
Jesus Christ.
anyway, Ukraine, yeah, they're handing those pills out to their populace. But going to what you said, they're prepping for nuclear war. Ukraine asked the U.S. to stage nuclear weapons, and also Zelensky calls for preemptive NATO strikes on Russia to show what happens if the Russian army or Putin attacks Ukraine with nukes, which seems kind of counterintuitive. Like, before they attack us with nukes, let's attack them to show them what happens if they attack us with nukes. There's no way that would backfire and get them attacked with nukes in the end. Right?
What if this is all one big ploy?
I think this is one big fucking simulation. I think we're in a video game of like someone that's like, I'm just going to destroy everything. Fuck it.
What Zelensky? What's it? How's it?
Zelensky.
Zelensky. What if Putin and Zelensky are like? So I got an idea, man. We want to find out what America has for
one of these days.
Time.
I'm gonna make a tinfoil hat so I can just have here, so I can take this off, put it on. We can trade it back and forth. I have an idea. So here's my imaginary tinfoil hat.
So hey, what do you think? There you go. So what do you think? Like, Putin, I was thinking, like, if we pretend to get into a war, we can ask. And I cry to everybody, hey, we need help. We're little old Ukraine. We can barely. Hold on. We can barely like defend ourselves, man. Like, guys, help us. Russia's so big and strong.
It's so
bring
big.
your nukes.
So girthy.
Bring your nukes to protect us. And the whole time, Russia's like, Putin's like,
whatever you said, I'll do it.
I remember my first joint, pussy.
I think that the whole deep state is one giant industrial complex, right? Military complex. I think they're all in this together. I think Trump, Biden, I think they're all part of it. I think Trump was kind of a black sheep. War obviously generates a shit ton of money for every nation involved with it.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, Biden is not like increasing federal funds for the military the way he should be. Because right now, you could really do that, and you would increase spending, but you'd also increase output, because we're obviously giving money to Ukraine. We're giving money to Ukraine, but we're giving military help. He's also not increasing energy production in the States in order to distribute it to Europe, which is a huge loss money-wise, because they're being with the Nord Stream thing and OPEC now siding with Russia and China and India. There's a loss of energy over there. So if the United States kicked up their production, if they're going to sell it and make some money, now's the time to do it. They're not doing it. Can't figure that one out either. So going back to what you said, is the two of them, it's like, I got an idea. It's like, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility at all. But I think it's more than just Zelensky and Putin. I think it's most of them. It's like, we got an idea. It's going to cause fear.
The Owl Sanctuary cult.
Oh.
Where they burn effigies of pigeons and bang NAMBLA members.
It is NAMBLA. NAMBLA is a member of, yeah. Yeah, so I just don't see how that makes any kind of sense. I guess as soon as he said, when Zelensky called for preemptive NATO strikes, everyone, like NATO, Russia, like Putin, everyone went, and immediately Zelensky went, oh, that's not what I meant. What I meant was sanctions. Sanctions is what I meant. Like, fucking come on. No, you didn't. You wanted to strike them first. Like, you have this, it's like that little short guy that get his ass kicked all the time, but like his 6 big brothers are standing behind him, and he starts running his fucking mouth. It's like, I'll whoop your ass. And everyone's like, maybe you shouldn't run your mouth quite yet. And then everyone looks at him and they're like, well, that's not what I meant. What I meant was, yeah. That's Ukraine right now. I got the help of the world on my side.
Biden, let's get them, super soldiers. Yes.
That's our army now. But added on, the U.S. government also spent $290 million on anti-radiation pills. This is from NBC News. Department of Health and Human Services ordered $290 million. Amid concerns about Russian President Vladimir Putin's recent nuclear threats came a bit of startling news. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services said Tuesday that it has spent $290 million on a drug to treat radiation sickness. The department said in a statement that the purchase of the drug called Nplate is part of its, quote, long-standing, ongoing efforts by the administration for strategic preparedness and response to better prepare the U.S. for the potential health impacts of a wide range of threats to national security, end quote.
Right now, the only national security threat we have is a trans fucking general.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Who happens to be a left Democrat.
This happens, and by coincidence, too. You remember about a month ago, those PSAs that were in New York City talking about what to do in case of a nuclear strike that they were running through.
Oh,
we
yeah.
talked about it, and they're like, well, get away from the windows. I don't think that's going to fucking... Duck and cover.
Oh, look. It's volcano. Duck and cover.
But so they do that a month ago, and now they're giving out radiation sickness pills, which would make anyone with any kind of common thought process at least go, why? Why all this radiation nuclear stuff? It's like, well, here you go, NYC. But you know what was brought up on Tim Pool, I think? Which brought up an interesting point.
Booed the fuck off stage? Or cult leader? What was her fucking...
Pelosi?
Not Pelosi. That was Pelosi, yeah, Pelosi.
Yeah, that too, yeah. What was brought up on Tim Pool was, if there ever was a nuclear strike, he said that he doesn't think it would be in a large city like New York City or something like that. Think more along the lines of, say, like, maybe Albany, or like a city that has enough people, like 200,000 or 300,000 people, like populace, because then that would strike fear in the entire nation. Because right now, if you just think, oh, there's attack a big city, obvious, New York, Dallas, San Fran, Chicago. Well, they'll probably look at me like, oh, someone already bombed this, but
Detroit. No, that's Detroit.
Yeah. Well, actually, that really could be either of them. L.A.
Oh man, this one's been irradiated for years.
Yeah.
Hi, would you like a venti caramel macchiato pumpkin spice? They're already mutated. Run! Quick, bomb them back to normal.
If you look at it that way, most people like us would be like, well, we're safe. But if you hit a city that's relatively big and...
Not even relatively big, just has enough of an impact, but is surrounded by enough of the local yokel genre, I guess you could call it.
The rest of the nation would look at it and be like, well, fuck, anything's possible.
Yep.
And it wouldn't even necessarily be in New York or like a widely known state. It could be in, like, say, like North Dakota or something. Well, maybe no, there's mostly
Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, it could be something like that.
It's not far from Aspen or Denver, but it's nowhere near.
Well, even Denver. It could be Denver. I mean, who the hell's going to, like, Denver's in the middle of fucking nowhere, you know? Like, what are they going to do?
But it's got a lot of weight to its name.
It does.
So what you're describing for the folks at home who are like, these guys are going back and forth with the same. No, what we mean isn't so much populous; it's grandeur. Like, what are the famous cities you could think of right now? Some of the biggest that come to mind: Los Angeles,
right?
New York City, Detroit,
Miami,
Tampa, Denver, Austin, Dallas, Houston. You got Aspen, Colorado. You got just.
But if you hit like Biloxi, Mississippi, like who the fuck is? Like,
yeah.
But there's definitely enough people there.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, see, there's enough people there where it's like that's a lot of fucking people. One, and shit, they could attack anywhere. So it's not. So when it was brought up on Tim Pool, like I said, they brought that up. I'm like, that's a good fucking point, and that would be on Putin's part a smart move because then you'd have the entire nation on edge. Which is what he would want. He would want to strike fear in the whole fucking nation, and not just like the people in big cities. So then you wouldn't know. It's like, well, you can't just run away from the city and go somewhere else because you don't know where it's going to get hit.
So let me ask you this then. Yeah, you're right. That excuse me.
It's because of sugar.
More sugar makes it go better.
Oh,
it's a whooping fruit. So here's the thing, though. Let's think about it from a human standpoint. Could you press the button on Albany?
No.
Let's say. Now, why?
Well, one, it's close to us.
No. Let's say you live in fucking Shanghai.
No, because I know there's people there, and I'm not a fucking madman.
So on a human nature standpoint...
Just in the same way.
There's no military. There's no weapons of mass destruction. There's no strategic reason to hit some of these places other than the ability to strike fear in a nation.
Right.
I'm sorry, but people call Putin this fucking madman. They say his health is shit. Whatever the case may be, I don't think as a human being.
I think everyone would be afraid of a mad situation.
But here's why. Here's why I say, as a human, I don't think he could do it. Or he would do it. I don't think any fucking mad general in that, or mad...
I don't know. What about Xi Jinping?
But here's the thing.
North Korea.
Here's the thing.
Either one of them.
Look at our country alone. Look at Australia. We're not the biggest country in the world.
Right.
You mean to tell me somebody with some of the fucking Tide Pod eating, asshole eating... fucking just Drano drinking fucks that we have in this country that we allow to begin these movements or get into these fucking waves of fucking woke. You mean to tell me we're the only country that has enough people that finally can say, you know what? There's something wrong here. I don't support this anymore. And sure, be my guest, Xi Jinping. He wants to sit there and be like, well, I'm crazy enough to do it. Prove it. He does it. His fucking country at some point goes, we just became the shit out of the party that got caught making out with a 13-year-old passed out girl.
I think a majority of the country is afraid in China. I mean, that's why they're in the situation they're in.
Yeah,
but I've also seen a lot of revolutions, or I'm going to say like small protests or whatever, starting to pop up in China, really all around the world. It's everywhere, but... In regards to, like, could someone do this? Are they crazy? Obviously, yes. Because one, prime example of what's really big right now on Netflix is Dahmer. There are fucking crazy people out there. I just have no whatever. And then Bin Laden with 9/11. And moreover, were the suicide bombers that just flew themselves into... So, obviously, there are people that are unhinged that could do crazy shit.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, as unhinged as a person can be, when you get into something... like that, for instance, example, I mean, even after it was done, what was it? It was Iraq, right? Or Iran? Osama bin Laden?
Afghanistan. No, that was Afghanistan, yeah.
Afghanistan. Even Afghanistan was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, there was a lot of members of Afghanistan. It wasn't Afghanistan. It was his own country. It was the Taliban.
A lot of there was a lot of he just talked a big game. We didn't think he'd go through with it.
His parents evidently was that because they were being flown out by Bush.
He's over there. He's over there.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose. Like if you're crazy enough,
you will.
Sure, but you're gonna lose any and all support you have eventually.
But
because
again,
of how fucked up it gets.
That's true. But again, I think more above. We're arguing really the same point, but above that is the mad situation. The mutually assured destruction. Like, because if one person hits the button, you fucking know that, especially if you have someone like Putin on the helm, if NATO made a strike, Putin's going to automatically make one back. And that's just going to unleash the fucking, the gates will be open and they're just going to be, yeah, it's going to be everywhere. So there's that fear of just back and forth.
I just hope we have what ends up being like a little Nicky. Hey, can I have him with me? Can I take him with me? Hey, Ted, I'd go with my father. Rodney Dangerfield.
So
As the creator of hell, I forbid you from sitting on that throne. Even in hell, I get no respect. Oh, rest in peace.
So adding on the fuel to that fire is, no surprise, OPEC Plus sides with Russia over Biden in the oil market. So OPEC Plus headline-grabbing decision to cut production by 2 million barrels per day, which is, again, all the more reason for us to increase production here, but we don't yet.
That we know of.
In November is a slap in the face to President Joe Biden and other Western leaders. While the actual drop will be about 1.2 million barrels a day due to the Saudi-led cartel's ongoing failure to hit production targets. So we're still taking jabs at them. It's like, they're going to cut 2 million. They can't even do that in a day. It's still a heavy blow to Joe Biden's efforts to rein in energy prices. Even if executed in a 60% level, the OPEC Plus cuts will push inventory draws into bullish territory. That puts benchmark Brent crude on the path to reach $100 a barrel before the end of the year. The assault on oil markets.
Jesus Christ, $100 a barrel?
The assault on oil markets comes when the global economy is already teetering on the cusp of recession, and right as the northern hemisphere leads into the cold winter months. So yeah, that's another
fucked up. It's gonna get,
like I said, which is just gonna drive up prices of everything again. But what's interesting is that this happens right before the election time. So probably in the next few weeks, you're gonna see gas go up again, and then probably a week or 2 or 3 after that, food prices will go up even further. Which again just puts more pressure on us and also frees up some cash flow and energy for Russia and China because they're obviously siding with them. Granted, they say it's only 2%, but I mean, in comparison, what was the COVID numbers that we were arguing? It was like 1 or 3 something percent versus 99.7 something percent. Well, and that was like enough. That difference there was enough for us to have mandates and everything else. And that was a 10% or whatever difference, or a point.
Well, fuck that. Think about it on this level. You're talking about billion-dollar industries. Fuel, food, just energy. Billion-dollar industries. 2% of $1 billion is what? 200 million.
Even so,
that money's got to come from somewhere.
Well, it does, but the like I said, the 2%. Like I said, our oil coming from OPEC, from Saudi Arabia, is about 2% of our oil production. A majority of our oil actually comes from Canada. But
come on, Trudeau.
That
Fuck.
That 2% will be huge on our market.
Yeah,
Which, again, we'll see it in the next few weeks. So adding on to all that, China now is opening police stations inside the United States borders to maintain contact with people that they deem are traitors and defectors.
Wait, what?
Inside China's secret police station in New York. This is from the Daily Mail. Whose officers hunt down dissidents and pursued them to return home.
Oh, so it's Chinese ice.
Explain.
What's ice?
Frozen water?
No, in America, what are ice?
I don't know.
Immigration something enforcement?
You don't even know.
Oh, fuck. Immigration control or something. Hold on.
Well, that's immigration.
Hold on.
I'll read this. China has set up dozens of secret police stations around the world, including one in New York City, to hunt down and retrieve dissidents. A new report from Safeguard Defenders, a human rights watchdog, revealed that the Chinese Communist Party has at least 54 overseas police service stations in 30 different countries, including the U.S. New York Station, located on East Broadway between Chinatown and the Lower East Side, was opened on February 15th, according to the Chinese language news sites FJSEN. The Daily Mail also visited the office, which is on top of a ramen shop and next to an acupuncturist, where a receptionist.
Let me guess, there's probably a nail salon right next door.
We're surprised to hear.
Maybe even a massage parlor up the block.
The receptionist was surprised to hear it was a secret police station. It's only funny because it's true. It was closed, and locals said it was seldom open.
I'm sorry. I love the Asian culture, too.
Like many police stations around the world, the New York State site is promoted as a place to assist Chinese nationals through bureaucracy.
So ICE, U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement.
Okay.
Basically, what these guys do is they're the ones who you're working at John Doe Central High School, you're sweeping, and you see this guy. Hello, my friend. Good day, huh? Yeah, death to America. Wait, what? So you call ICE and say, hey, I may have an illegal immigrant here. You want to come look into him? They then secretly come in. They follow this guy around. Oh, shit, comes find out he's the leader of the toilet paper ban. And the toilet ban. And they deport his ass back to wherever he came from. So the secret police, these Chinese-based police stations, they're basically Chinese ICE. I'm not even going to go that accent. Fuck that. You're a Chinese defect. Go back to China.
You're a defect.
So these guys are basically hunting. It's fucking, Blade Runner. It's Blade Runner. Chinese Blade Runner.
So since the program's launch in April of 2021, China reported that it had persuaded in quotes, 230,000 Chinese nationals.
Go home or die. Your choice.
We're volunteering you to return home. Although the CCP claims the stations are meant to keep an eye on, quote, fraud and telecom fraud, end quote, committed by citizens living abroad. The human rights group condemned the stations.
So basically, China sent their own people over to police and govern its own people that are based in the U.S. that either came over or are on work visas, etc. The case may be, whatever the case may be. And if they don't like what they're saying or doing, hey, go back.
It's interesting that it's allowed. Because it says not much is known about the station in New York, which appears to be hidden in plain sight in the city's busy Chinatown. Other stations around the world is disguised, often running inside Chinese restaurants or convenience stores.
Put it to you this way, and this is just having the idea now. I'm genuinely not surprised that exists. I wouldn't be surprised if there was one from every country in almost every fucking city on every street block.
I'm not surprised it exists. I'm just surprised it's allowed.
Why wouldn't it be?
Because it's government. That's technically a foreign country's government operating. It's like if the FBI was operating in Russia or
Which it
something.
does.
No, CIA.
Sorry.
CIA can go over there. FBI operates inside.
So you mean to tell me you're surprised it's allowed? Because here you are, you're this governing body. You have your representatives going to another place, doing their own thing, basically still wearing your colors on their back. You mean to tell me you don't want to keep an eye on them to make sure they don't fucking do anything to make you look bad?
You know, I'm not surprised it's allowed now that I think about it. Not even for that reason. Just because you know that probably Xi Jinping went to whatever administration at whatever point, or 2021, so it would have been Biden, be like, listen, we're going to set this up in your place. You can set something up here. We'll just fucking swap bullshit back and forth.
Yeah.
Deep state. I mean,
no.
deep state.
Hey, you're back.
Yeah.
Where'd that other guy go?
I don't know.
No, but it's basically... No, seriously, like, you've never... It's like... So let's say you have this old tractor.
Right.
This old piece of farm equipment.
Right.
That you loan to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, man, I wonder how it's going for them. You know... I had to beat the shit out of that tractor just to get it to do what I wanted it to do, plow my snow. See, this is why I didn't want to say that. Because you fucking go there with it.
Keep going.
Let's get serious for a minute. Hey, come on.
Let's get serious on this.
Speaking of that,
yeah,
next Sunday, this coming Sunday.
Yeah. Be 6 days, yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
So, do you mean to tell me, like, you loan somebody anything, and it's like, man, you know, yeah, it does the job, but it's kind of a piece of shit, and I usually have to beat the crap out of it to get it to work for me. Let me go make sure it's doing a good job for them. It's making sure people are like, oh, I can borrow Charlie's wood splitter, James's fucking sex swing, whatever the case may be.
It's a piece of shit. But.
You want to go over there, you go over there and say, hey, look, Charlie, how's my wood splitter working? Oh, it's fucking great, dude. I had to oil up the hydraulics a little bit, put some more fluid in the lines, but other than that, this fucking thing's working great. Oh, okay, cool. Well, now that I know it needs work, let me take that back. You get home, you fucking put your fingers in it where it doesn't want, it cries itself to sleep, and then the next time you loan it out, it works like a charm. That's what this is.
I have no idea the connection you're making here.
There is somebody out there that fucking understands.
It was an interesting...
Put your hat back on the right way.
It was an interesting story.
No, it's like you want whatever represents you. Doesn't matter if it ever comes back to you or not. You put your child, for example. Eventually, it's going to leave the home, and you want to make sure it doesn't make you look like a piece of shit. So you kind of watch it. You kind of move close to it. You kind of follow it. You got to make sure it doesn't see you watching it from behind the bushes.
Oh, jeez.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, so... Anyway, the CEO of a U.S. election software firm arrested for storing data in servers in China. So again, we're going back to China. Which just, again, goes back to everyone saying, the elections weren't stolen, there's nothing, they were all fair, everything's fine, blah, 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 blah. And now this comes out. This is from the New York Post. The CEO of a software company that tracks the behavior of U.S. election workers was arrested Tuesday over suspicion of stealing personal information and illegally storing it on Chinese computer servers.
Oh, jeez.
Because why not? With everything else. We got unrest in the whole world, civil unrest everywhere. Now just add to the civil unrest within the United States. Eugene Yu, the founder and CEO of Conic, was required to keep his company's data in the U.S. and only provide access to citizens and permanent residents, but instead stored it on servers in the People's Republic of China, according to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. Personal identifying information, which really... That really is the new currency. Like before, you'd steal like cash or assets or something and store it, but now it's all information.
Oh yeah,
it's all information. People's information. Like I mean, we had we opened up with medical information being stolen by the Trans Army
general
thingy, yeah, and going to give that apparently to Russia. Again, medical information, which I guess, you know, is also brought up with what's the significance of medical information, like DNA. You could technically make a weapon or like a chemical that would only affect people with certain blood types, certain receptors. So when you...
Oh, what was it?
There's a movie where something happens and everyone drops dead, like a certain something. I'm sure that's been done like half a dozen times.
Hold on. The new James Bond, No Time to Die.
I still haven't seen it. I think it's on
Watch it.
Paramount.
Paramount. It is.
Is it?
Very good. There's actually...
Isn't it like 18 hours long?
No.
4 or something?
No,
I knew it
it's
was
like
kind of
3.
long. Yeah.
But it's good because that's literally what the basis of that movie is.
Right.
The main bad guy in that movie develops a toxin that you can literally remote kill people with it.
Right.
Because it's coded to their DNA.
Right. Yeah. So same thing. So you could, I guess technically...
And basically James Bond in that movie ends up becoming like a carrier. He can't die from it.
Right.
But because anybody with his DNA... If anybody with his DNA gets near him, it will contract to them and kill them instantly.
Right.
So with medical information, like you were just saying, the DNA, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, Hollywood kind of echoes reality. There's a lot of things that come out in Hollywood, then later on be like, oh, wow, look, that's actually happening. So whether it's Hollywood giving them our ideas or it's just Hollywood warning us 10 years ahead of time. So I guess you could do that, but New York City has a state of emergency due to migrants.
Wait, what?
Migrants heading up.
Oh,
buses.
New York City?
They said we don't have enough resources to adequately take care of all these migrants coming up here, being bussed up here. I think it's funny. It's another Martha's Vineyard or DC where it's a no problem when it's down south and away from everybody. But as soon as now they're running into the problem, it's from CNN. This is NYC. Eric Adams declares state of emergency over influx of migrants. Mayor Eric Adams has declared a state of emergency to help respond to the city's migrant crisis, which he told reporters Friday will cost the city $1 billion this fiscal year. Quote, we now have a situation where more people are arriving in New York City than we can immediately accommodate, including families with babies and young children, Adams said. Once the asylum seekers from today's buses are provided shelter, we would surpass the highest number of people in recorded history in our city's shelter system. If there was only a way we could stop them from coming into the country so they're not shipped to all these places. I wish we could think of something. Well, here's to tomorrow.
And you know what, though? You know what would be a good idea, too? If we could figure out that pesky, illegally crossing border problem. While we're trying to figure out how to stop people from crossing into our country illegally, maybe we could also figure out where we could pull some of these resources that we don't have any of to be able to maybe provide shelter, food, assistance, employment, healthcare for the billions, the millions of homeless that don't seem to be a problem in America anymore.
Yeah. We need to help Ukraine, though. So, priorities.
I still think we should send another $20-30 billion over to them.
There's
really need it.
61,000 people in the shelter system. 17,000 of that, I guess, have been asylum seekers that have been bussed up to New York City from the southern border since April of this year. Spent more than $18 million bussing migrants. Texas has spent more than $18 million busing migrants who have been processed and released by immigration authorities, because that's all they can really do, and sending them to D.C., New York City, Chicago, Martha's Vineyard. That was the most special one, I think. That was beautiful. Just because they got them out of there within 48 hours.
I was gonna say not even.
It was 44 hours. I think.
I was saying not even 2 days.
The floor's lava.
Wait, what's it? Ew, yucky. What's that from? I know it's from a movie. Oh God, it's a movie we've quoted too.
Probably.
I think I just ruptured my eyeball. That hits my eye. Through my eyelid, of course. Oh, weird pressure feeling. Oh, it's in my ass.
From the... I guess... usually, this is the last thing I have on the list. The New York Post... They have... this is... Oh, what the hell? New poll... What's the poll, though? Oh, what's the name of the poll?
North? South?
No, the
Stripper?
Trafalgar poll.
Coming to the stage.
There's one of two polls that are
chastity. Oh,
have
I like to call her. Irony.
It has a good track record of projecting winners and losers for elections.
Oh, yeah. I know.
So normally, I guess, in New York, like the Democratic leader is like 56 or 58% lead, and Republicans like around 24. Right now, it says is October 6th. Governor Kathy Hochul leads Republican rival Republican Lee Zeldin by just under 2 points. So it's way closer than it should or normally is, 44.5% to 42.6%. So Zeldin has an actual shot of winning the primary. So we would actually have a Republican governor for the first time in fucking decades.
Spitzer was Democrat?
Swallows.
No, he didn't swallow. He got them to swallow.
That's true.
The evidence.
Larry Sharp trails with 3.3%.
What about Giuliani? Yeah, he was Democrat, wasn't he?
Rudy? No, I think
Rudy was Republican, I thought.
he was mayor, though, in New York City.
Oh, that's right. Fuck.
A write-in candidate, Libertarian write-in candidate, Larry Sharp trails 3.3%. And an additional 9.7% is undecided.
So at the last minute, that 9% could go left or right.
That's true, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, that for polls, the fact that it's that close is kind of telling. It's like, wow, this isn't going to be just... which tells you right there, New York already, with Cuomo out and Hochul taking office, they're already fed up with her. It hasn't even... What's it been, 6 months? Like, this fucking broad's got to go.
Hey, can we get the... what's that guy's name again? I don't know. What was it? Oh, my God.
I don't know. Can't even lead you because I don't know where you're going. I think he fell asleep.
Fuck you. Fuck you. No, you never watched. White. Mayor White, whatever his name was. This show, Shameless. It's a good show. There was a episode in the seasons, later on in the seasons, where they're trying to get White back in office. The mayor, the governor, whatever he was. His last name was White. Well, he got kicked out of office because he banged a 16-year-old girl. And
Nambla.
They actually, he ends up winning in the show. Like, he ends up getting back into his office or whatever it was.
Well, I mean, we got Biden. He's sniffing kids.
God, we are so done with this chick. Can we get the what's his name? The one who slept with the minor. Yeah, let's get him back. He can't do any worse than she does.
Seriously though,
at least then we know where he's sticking his roots.
You remember we were talking about? I don't have this written down, but I did just pop into my head, just thinking about Hochul and like things she was putting in play. I guess. Restraint. The thing that passed with the ammunition, like you'd have to have your background check and everything.
Yeah.
I guess a federal judge struck that down.
Oh, good.
So it's not constitutional.
Good.
Which I learned after I went up and bought ammo, and nothing. I just paid in cash, and here you go, and no anything. I was like, oh, good, nice. Which I was like, oh, maybe they're just not enforcing it. So I got home, and then I think it was a day later I read, it's like, oh, no, it was struck down.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, what's the difference between buying it and reloading it yourself?
It's what I think it is. Like this is more of the point with credit card companies being able to track like whatever, which that like I said before, the government can't create a registry of gun owners and everything. But what they can do is have a company say, we need to know what you're getting, because a private entity, they by proxy I guess can. Yeah. But then the government can come and say, can we have this information? Or would you be willing to give us this information? And they go, oh yeah, sure. Weak, dizzy on the porch. I remember those days.
Oh, I read that backwards. I thought it's a 17-year-old. That's exactly what we think it is.
I remember those days verbatim. Those are the keg stand days.
We weren't 17.
So next week, Sunday, it's whether or not we're going. That's the same thing. Oh no, it's not.
Back to back, huh?
Yeah. Next week, we can either do the show Saturday, or we could wait until after the show Sunday and then basically do a synopsis. And
I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
We do kind of
we'll probably be back. I imagine they're not going to go more than an hour and a half, because if we have to go in an hour before the show, that means probably they're going to start letting people in at 6 for the 7 o'clock show. Yeah. So we'll probably be out by 5:30, somewhere in there, I would imagine.
Because that gives them enough time to wind down, get ready for the next run.
For anyone wondering, it's the Hodge twins. I bought this fucker last week. He said, "Oh, you should give me Hodge twins tickets."
It was a fucking joke, you prick.
And then, then a couple days later, I'm like, you know what? I want to go see them too, so fuck it. So we're going to go check out the Hodge twins. So to the Hodge twins, who's probably not going to see this clip, fucking right. That's why we've been stealing your line the last couple weeks. Let's get serious on this.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys want it back? Come take it. Come take it. You break into this door. You get right in my face. Take your saying back. Take those fucking muscular arms and wrap them around me with those strong lips.
I saw that video.
Come take my guns. Kiss me on my mouth. I feel like being romantic. Kiss me on my mouth.
Caress me. Caress my hair. Just rub my shoulders. Just that way I like.
Now, let's say this ever did take off like that.
Oh,
and here we are in their show checking them out one day. And then we go and talk about it. I'm like, holy shit, the podcast, these guys were checking out our show. They were at our show. They were in our audience. It's awesome.
I'd be happy if we had, like, their kind of following. Like, they got, what do they got, like 2 or 3 million subscribers, something like that.
They're up there.
They have their niche, which is me.
But they all started somewhere.
You know where they started? Where? They started in a break room of a fucking...
Arby's?
No, an insurance... Was it insurance or was it... Oh, no, what'd they go for? They went to college for
Oh, well, there's our problem. They graduated. We didn't.
Well, they graduated online. It was one of those mail-in. Like,
still finished it. We didn't.
Like Phoenix, Arizona, or Phoenix University, or whatever the hell it is.
Phoenix Sage?
Yeah. That's what they graduated from. That makes sense, too. Spelled differently, though.
Yeah, I know.
But, yeah, all right, so we could do it. We'll probably be back by then. Yeah,
we'll come literally right back and just kick right into it.
Yeah, we'll be back by 7:30. Yeah, so there you go.
That's what we'll plan for. Because, sudden nuclear strike, and all of a sudden we can't.
Oh, damn. Yeah, man, we're going to be right down in Albany for that, too. Fuck me. Right? Bye.
Fuck him, he's bye.